I feel you. I always had the dream that when I make $1 million, I'll get my hands into a Lamborghini. What we're gonna do today, we're gonna go over exactly how much money you need to make, especially with like lender guidelines, in order to afford the car of your dreams, but also what is the financially right move for you to make in order to buy your first, second, or even your third car. Let's get into it. Welcome back, guys. Today, you know who it is. It's David Avgi, your favorite host. And before we get into the video, I want you guys to go ahead and smash that like button. I'll tell you why. 96.5% of you guys are not subscribed to the channel. And you know, that doesn't make me too happy because I love you guys so much and I want to produce more for you guys and I want you to see it. So after you smash that subscribe button, I want you to go ahead and hit that bell notification. Now let's get into it. The honest truth is, the car you might actually want is much more expensive than you might think it is. There's a lot of reasons why, because in the end of the day, a car doesn't just come with a car payment. There's so much other factors that you have to pay attention to. In today's market, the average expense of a car is not what we were used to when it was $400, $500 a month. Today, it's $800 a month and creeping up. On top of that, the average person's transportation budget is around 18% of their annual salary. So before we get into exactly how much car can you afford, let's talk about different factors. A lot of times when you're gonna go buy your car, most cars are actually bought with financing. 85% of all new cars, and guess what? 55% of all used cars have debt on it, which means they went to the bank, knocked on the door, and said, hey, let me get a loan, because I'm about to roll out in style. In today's market, the typical interest rate on a car is anywhere from 6.5% to 13%, which means you also got a budget for that because most car loans are anywhere from 3 to 6 years. And if you're gonna be stuck in a car for that long and you're gonna have payments for year after year after year, you have to make sure that you can finance that, you can pay that off so that car doesn't go bye-bye. Now, another expense that you're gonna incur is gas, right? The average car drives around 25 miles per gallon. That's according to statistics, not according to me. And with that in mind, you're gonna have anywhere from a $200 to $300 gas bill. Depends. If you're driving less, you might be able to creep it down, but we typically drive a lot, especially here in the States. So you're looking at anywhere from $200 to $300. And if you have that crazy gas diesel car that like literally runs all of us over, all our little small folks over, you know what's gonna happen?
You're gonna pay more.
Now, is gas the only factor that you have to think about? No, you also have insurance. The average insurance payment is around $170 a month, but that all depends because insurance companies are analytical companies. So it depends on A, your driving history, B, your age, where you live, where your car is parked, what type of car you're buying. That's how they kind of dictate your payment. Now, if you're 25 years or younger, guess what? Your insurance will go up. Let me tell you guys a quick story. I remember my first car. I went ahead, I bought it from the auction. It was a Mercedes C-Class. I felt on top of the world, white with cream interior. I was paying around $500 a month to $550, if I remember correctly, for financing it. What hurt me the most was not the gas. It was also the insurance. Because I was 19 years old and I got a car of that magnitude and I never had insurance before and I've been only driving for around 6 months, I got hit with $450 a month in insurance payments. Yes, $450. Now also don't forget, every year you're gonna have to register your car. The cost of registration can run you anywhere from $100 to $200 a year, but that's still costs you're gonna have to incur. On top of that, we're forgetting the most scary part of owning a car. It's that maintenance, especially when your warranty is up. You know that gives you a heart attack. When your car makes any type of freaky noises, you want to run, you want to hide, you want to protect your credit cards because you're going to be like, hey, it's about to get painful. For example, you want a Bugatti, just to change the brakes and rotors, you're looking at $48,000. That's more than most cars out there in the market. Now, a lot of you young bucks, just like me when I was younger, we all wanted a new car. Now, a new car, there's this big thing, which is the final thing on the map. It's called depreciation, and you guys don't really look into it. But typically, when you drive a new car off the lot, you're gonna lose anywhere from 10 to 15%. Year 2, 25%. Year 3, cut your car value in half. Now, let's talk about something smart. If you know that you're gonna lose 50% of your car's value within 3 years, and you're trying to also dictate on a budget so you can have money later to invest, to start a business, to do what you want, and also pay for bills, the smart move sometimes would be to get a car that's a little bit older than 3 years. So a 4-year-old car, that way the majority of the depreciation was thrown out the window. Now, you might be wondering, so David, how much can I really afford? So let's get into the part of financial wisdom. All right, guys, so let's get into it. We're gonna start with one rule, and this is the rule you gotta know. It's called the 23-8 rule. And what's the 23-8 rule? The 23-8 rule will tell you exactly how much you have to put down. 20 means your down payment. 3 means the year's financing. And 8 means your annual income. Let's say you make around a $90,000 yearly gross income. That will lead you to that you can afford a car of around $16,000. With that in mind, now you have to look at it, I can only finance it for around 3 years. With the 3-year financing cost, you're looking at around a payment of roughly $400 a month. And then ultimately, that's going to leave you with around $200 a month for gas and maintenance. Now, for those that don't know, the average used car actually cost around $26,000. And why would you follow a rule like this? There's a big reason to it, because in the end of the day, a lot of people actually spend above their financial means. And what ends up happening when you actually spend above what you can afford, you're going to stress out, because a lot of people that actually finance a car for not 3 years, but they go ahead and say, hey, I want a 25 rule, or I want a 26 rule. So what ends up happening with that is, great, you're financing for 5 or 6 years, your interest is a lot higher, but not only that, the average person every 5 years likes to buy a new car. So after 5 years, you're just gonna go into the same ride. It's like you're coming off one ride, you don't even have a room to rest. You have payments again, you're going to buy a new car, and guess what? Now you have to finance that even more. So I'll give you guys a quick story. I bought my second car, which was a BMW 6 Series, from the auction for around $45,000. I financed that car for 3 years. I drove that car for almost 6 years. The beauty of having that car was very simple. First 3 years, I made all my payments. After 3 years, guess what, guys? I had to worry about nothing but insurance, maintenance, and gas, meaning that crazy $800 a month payment that I was having to pay for my car was all going inside my pocket. And by actually saving that payment and putting that in my pocket, it gave me a lot of freedom. And 2 to 3 years later of driving that car debt-free, you know what ended up happening? I bought a new car. Now, guys, let's talk about someone that I love, Dave Ramsey. And let's talk about his rule. Dave Ramsey, if you guys don't know, owns actually over $600 million in real estate, debt-free. And you know where I'm going with this, guys. If anyone knows Dave Ramsey, you know where I'm going with this, guys. Pretty much, he believes that you need to buy a car outright, and that the cost of a car shouldn't be more than 50% of your annual income. Meaning, if you make $200,000 a year, you can afford a $100,000 car. But if you're making $100,000 a year, you should only buy a $50,000 car. 50, 25, and so on. Meaning that when you buy a car, you go buy it for all cash. And that way you never have to stress about a car payment, debt, or interest ever in your life. By the way, guys, most millionaires drive a car that is around 4 years old that has 41,000 miles. On top of that, 8 out of 10 millionaires actually buy their car out debt-free, meaning that a lot of people actually agree with Dave Ramsey's rule. So let's talk about lenders. Lenders allow you to spend approximately 0.45% of your DTI, DTI is debt to income ratio, meaning, for example, if you have debt like your credit cards, you have debt like financing a house, you have debt of car payments and so forth, that's going to accumulate into your DTI. Now, what that means, if you make around $10,000 a month, you could afford potentially a car of $4,500. Now, does that mean because the lenders approved you for a car for $4,500 a month that you should get a car for $4,500 a month? You have to understand one thing. Lenders only care about the terms of the loan and how much is the value of the car. If you go ahead and default and don't pay your payments, they just want to make sure that they came up on the up and up. That's not a good thing for you. And a lot of car dealers are trying to push you things that you can't really afford. Why? Because in the end of the day, it's all about just getting that sale done. So I'm going to tell you my point of view. You just got to be financially literate. And why do I say that? I say that because you don't want to get your car defaulted and you don't want to be 2 years into payments on your brand new car and then out of nowhere you can't make payments for the rest of the years. Now, even if you don't follow the rules, you have to make sure that you're just making wise choices. Meaning, make sure that if you have any responsibilities, it's taken care of. If you have any crazy credit card debt, that's first taken care of. From there, I always recommend putting 20% down on a car. That way you have some type of value in it. Don't go to these dealers that are trying to charge you crazy prices, especially above MSRP on a new car, and go ahead and purchase it because they're never going to value your car more than the MSRP, which is the actual sales price. So if you ever want to sell that in 2-3 years and you pay 20% over sticker, you know what's going to end up happening? They're going to value your car as a brand new car at sticker price, and then the depreciation that happened over those couple of years, and on top of that, how much profit they need to make on reselling your car. And that's going to put you way under. So that leads me to this. I think the smartest move, especially when you're getting your first or your second car and you're trying to save up for investments, because investments are always number one, because that's appreciating assets versus a depreciating assets. I recommend you guys get a 3 to 4 year old car. You guys don't finance more than 3 to 4 years. And on top of that, make sure that it's not going to kill you, that you're not spending more than 10% or 15% of your annual income. You guys have so much more expenses on top of a car just for living and being a human being, right? We all have rent to pay, we have bills to pay, we have vacations to go on. So you gotta pay attention that your car shouldn't actually put you out of pocket or depreciate your way of living. Stress is never good for you. You don't want that. And guess what? If you work hard and you invest your money in the right places and you put it in the right assets, one day you can also afford your Lamborghini. So guys, if you enjoyed this video and you enjoyed a lot more videos, I can't wait to see all the comments that you guys drop down. But do me a favor, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and we'll create so much more new videos for you guys, and click that little bell button so you can be notified anytime we drop a video. I'll see you guys on the next one.